guys, we're back after that very small technical difficulty. We're with Josh Holmes, the creative director of Halo 4, and he's just about to kick into a 10-minute gameplay demo, showcasing some very cool new stuff, right?
Yes, yeah, we're going to see the Prometheans in action.
Let's do it.
Let's get started.
So,
and someone's inverted, which is not going to work for me because inverted is just not the right way to play. So, all right. Cool, we're good.
Let's go. So, as you said before, we're about 3/4 of the way through this mission?
About halfway through, yeah. So I'm gonna grab myself some weapons.
Alright, so this is Promethean weapon, right?
Yes, these are Promethean weapons, which, one of the great things about having a new enemy class is it opens up the ability to have all of these new tools that we add to the sandbox and weapons and abilities. And so this is a weapon called the light rifle.
The light rifle. And how does it compare to the carbine, for example?
How's it compared to?
The carbine?
Oh, the carbine?
Yeah.
This is an interesting weapon in that it has two different modes of fire. It has a triple shot burst when you're firing, kind of from the hip, and then you have the ability to zoom in and have a really powerful single shot. So it gives you a lot of flexibility in battle, which is nice. And you just saw me destroy a couple of those little crawlers there. Those are kind of the fodder of the Promethean enemy class.
Did you say the flood?
The fodder. They're easy to deal with, especially when you're dealing with them one-on-one. But when you deal with them in groups, they can become overwhelming.
They can climb onto walls and stuff and kind of.
They can climb onto walls. They can jump high distances. Here you can see the Prometheans in action. That guy's throwing a grenade at me.
So I'm really interested in, what are they called? They're called the
Knights. Watchers or the Knights?
The Knights. So, what are the spinny wheelie things, the helicopter things? Are they the Watchers or the Knights?
They're the Watchers.
They're the Watchers. Okay, so I'm interested in the Watchers because that goes back to what you were saying about the Prometheans working together, so all the different classes work together. So tell us about the Watchers and how they kind of fit in, how they control things.
Yeah, so you can see that Watcher there. He's able to grab that grenade that I threw, and he's throwing it back at me. If I destroy this Knight, now you'll see the Watcher comes in and he's resurrecting that Knight. So I could destroy him right now, which would be a good idea, but I'm just going to let him bring the Knight back. So you can see how they kind of work together for a second there. He was shielding the Knight. So when you're dealing with these guys on the battlefield, you kind of always have to be aware of how they're working together, and in a lot of cases, it makes sense to try and take the Watchers out first, so that you're not going to have to deal with them shielding and resurrecting and doing all these different things.
So when you're entering a Promethean battle, the best thing to do is kind of just go for the Watchers first, so they can't call for reinforcements and heal people, the other enemies.
Exactly. So let me see. I'm going to try and take these guys out.
So these are Knights?
Yeah, Knights are the big guys. They're like the commanders on the battlefield, and they have a bunch of different abilities. They can phase to move from place to place. Some of them have the ability to kind of, there's one phasing out right now. They have the ability to, there's a turret trying to take me out.
All right, maybe you should concentrate.
I got to concentrate a little bit so I don't get destroyed here.
That's okay, you're about to die.
And it's hard to see with the bright lights in my eyes. And now I'm out of ammo. So this is going to get ugly in a second here. Okay, let me grab this and back up a little bit. But yeah, they can phase in and out. They can jump high distances and attack you. Some of them can do like a kind of a phase run where they're moving quickly from place to place. And you see him get his offhand there ready for a big, powerful melee attack. The Knights, if you let them get up close to you, they can do a ton of damage. So I'm going to move out of this area and sort of avoid those guys.
Probably a good idea.
And take this guy out.
Did you guys redesign Chief's normal weapons to kind of give them a bit of an upgrade and make them a bit more exciting?
Yeah, all of the weapons that are returning from past Halo games have been, kind of upgraded and redesigned to fit the Halo 4 sandbox and also, the visual style of Halo 4. But we've also added a bunch of new weapons. So there's new weapons on the UNSC side, like the railgun and the sticky detonator. And then on the Covenant side, we brought back some classics like the beam rifle, but again, really updated them to kind of fit in with the Halo 4 gameplay and sandbox. You can see in the HUD there, you've got picture-in-picture, which is one of the new storytelling methods that we use throughout the campaign. So this is, we're receiving a broadcast that we're trying to decode from a UNSC starship called the Infinity. And basically we're trying to prevent them now from being sucked into the planet.
So is this like inside a big kind of environment? Like, are we inside or outside? I can't tell.
Right now we are in the center of the planet. So we're kind of in a big inverted world, and we're moving from place to place through a portal network. And here I'm using the Banshee, one of my favorite vehicles. You can kind of see the size and scale of the environments.
You're fitting a lot into this kind of very, very early battle, I have to say.
Let me try and get out of here before I get destroyed. So I've got to take down these three power cores in this area. So I've taken one of them down, and I'm now going to move over here and try and take out this second one.
Josh, there's a question from the community. They want to know, Protus234 wants to know, will Halo 4 support drop-in, drop-out multiplayer? For example, can players join a stat-tracked multiplayer game that's already in progress if there are open slots?
Did you hear that?
Was the question about joining multiplayer games?
Will it support drop-in, drop-out multiplayer?
Yes. That was one of the things that we changed for Halo 4 was the ability to join a multiplayer game that's in progress. And you know that does a bunch of different things and make sure that you've always got even teams, and you don't have hosts that are dropping out because they're left on an uneven team, which then causes delays in the game experience. So we wanted to really create a great multiplayer experience, and Join in Progress lets us do that.
So I don't know if you can talk about this while you're playing, or if you need to concentrate more, but
I'll do my best.
Can you tell us a little bit about your role on the game as creative director, and kind of like what things you helped create and define?
Yeah, so I mean, as a creative director, I work with all of the creative teams, and I set the vision for the game and make sure that everything is coming together to kind of meet that vision. Yeah, gelling together, and so that's everything from the storytelling and narrative to the art and the audio, and just the overall player experience. But I'm really lucky and fortunate to work with such an amazing team across the board. Oh my God, I can't get this guy. He is running away from me.
Just concentrate.
Okay, I've got to go and get some more ammo here. I'm out of ammo, and I can't see anything because it is like blindingly bright in this studio. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, and so basically, I have an amazing team of people that I work with, and so I have an incredible art director in Kenneth Scott, who he and his team of amazing artists have just created a spectacular looking game. And
cool.
So, yeah.
All right, we're going to take some questions from the live audience now.
Okay.
While we're finishing up the demo.
It's worth keeping in mind that we're also giving away sweet Turtle Beach sweet Turtle Beach headsets. So think of your questions, and we're going to be awarding spot prizes to the best ones from the audience.
We have one question, and that is, what improvements have been made to vehicles in the game?
Improvements to vehicles. So I mean, we've kind of adjusted the vehicles across the board, and we've done a lot to make them feel more stable, a little easier to control, not as easy to tip over and flip. They're a little bit more resilient. They can take more damage, and part of that is just because we have customizable loadouts within multiplayer, so you're able to do things like bring plasma pistols into multiplayer, and that really changes up the whole experience. So making the vehicles a little bit more resilient and able to sustain more damage makes them feel more valuable on the battlefield. They're still pretty easy to take out. You know, everybody can come in with DMRs and start picking them off. So it's not like it's unbalanced, but they're definitely more powerful in Halo 4 than past Halo games.
I have one more question here.
What role will the Arbiter play in Halo 4, 5 or 6? Because in Halo 3 we saw he had a really strong relationship with Master Chief and the humans near the end. Yeah, so what role will he play in the future Halos?
You need to, yeah.
What role will the Arbiter play in Halo 4, 5 and 6? What role will the Arbiter play in Halos 4, 5 and 6?
What role will the Arbiter play in Halo 4, 5 and 6?
So I mean, we love Arby, but
We sure do love
and
Arby.
I'm gonna pause and
Okay,
stop
cool, yep.
the demo right there. We love Arby, but we have kind of let people know he's not featured in the Halo 4 campaign. That's not to say he won't be back in the future.
So you can't play some of the levels.
Yeah, but you don't play as Arby. He does not play a role in the campaign.
Okay, but you're not finished with him just yet.
What's that?
You're not finished with him
No,
just yet.
I'm sure Arby will be back at some point.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask you a little bit about, I mean, obviously it looks really impressive, but was there anything the team wanted to do with Halo 4 but couldn't because of the technical limitations of the hardware?
I mean, I think, you know, we set forth with a vision for what we wanted to create, and a lot of that vision was supported by the artistic direction of the game. And we have an incredible group of artists as well as amazing developers who came together, you know, sort of merging their art and technology to deliver on the look of the game, and I think they've done an amazing job. I don't think we ever really felt held back by technology at any point, although it's always a careful balance. You know, you're trying to create these epic scale environments and worlds and scenes while at the same time delivering a lot of detail at kind of a micro level, and so we're always having to balance those two things, and hopefully, you know, we've done a good job of that.
Okay, cool. Now, in terms of difficulty, do you think Halo 4, but this one in particular, is one of those games where the higher difficulties really expose the depth of the game's mechanics, or is it just about kind of like incremental levels and that's it? It's like more of a...
So yeah, just like past Halo games, the higher the difficulty is set, the more behaviors you're going to see from the AI, the more responsive and dynamic they become. But you should see, you know, once you're at heroic, you should see pretty much the majority of those behaviors emerging all the time. It is I would say, a more difficult Halo game just because you're dealing with a new enemy and a new threat, and a lot of players who have become used to the Covenant and knowing, you know, the tactics to employ in the battlefield, they're going to have to adapt and learn new tactics.
Well, you said in past interviews that you've tried really hard to keep the feel of old Halo games, but try to introduce new elements as well. So that must have been really hard because besides the Prometheans, the new enemy class, you know, what are the new elements are there in terms of gameplay in Halo 4 that you've kind of tried to introduce?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, by introducing the Prometheans, you introduce a whole suite of new weapons and abilities, and those really change the interactions and the possibilities that you can have within the gameplay sandbox. And then we've added things like, you know, the Mantis, which is the mech vehicle, and a bunch of new weapons on the human and the Covenant side. So all those are kind of new tools and flavors. But as far as approach to the game in general, we've taken a very story-centric approach and tried to immerse players in the act of being the Master Chief and really connect them to that character more than ever before, and connect that character to the world, just having more first-person interactions with the world and the environment around him, so that.
Does that mean that Chief's walking around kind of like examining plant life and stuff and admiring the beauty of...
Yeah, so we have a narrative director, Armando Choisi, who came to us from BioWare and worked on the Mass Effect series prior to Halo 4. And I think he's brought a real focus on storytelling, like even at that secondary level, where for those players who want to explore and find out all the little details that are hidden in the world. There's a lot that we've put in there for them, and so it's not like you're forced to, to kind of, not like you're forced to consume this story if you're not that type of player. If you just want to have a straightforward action experience, we still have the fast, fluid action that you'd expect from a Halo game, but there's a lot more storytelling depth that's there and available to you if you want to explore it.
Do we have any questions from?
We have time for a final live question.
One more question, yep.
How has Chief and Cortana's relationship evolved in Halo 4? Because I've always thought that the relationship has been Cortana protecting Chief, like she's always been his mother character, whereas in this one it looks more like Chief is protecting Cortana a lot.
How has Chief and Cortana's relationship evolved in this latest Halo? He thinks that in the previous Halo games, Cortana was more of a protector towards Master Chief, and it seems like it's reversed the roles this time around. Is that accurate?
It's a great question, actually. I was going to ask that too. Did you hear it?
I got most of it. So is how has the relationship between Master Chief and Cortana changed in this game? And then was the second part, in the past, Cortana has been sort of a protector for Master Chief, and has that changed and maybe reversed in Halo 4? It's a great question. I mean, you know that Cortana is nearing the end of her lifespan, and you have her rampancy becomes really an important element of our story that we explore through the campaign, and so that does force some changes in their relationship. And I think Cortana has always been that human side of Chief, and Chief has almost been more of the machine, and that's something I don't want to kind of spoil too much about it, but that is something that we explore and is kind of a theme for exploration throughout the campaign. And it's kind of a secondary storyline that goes through the campaign. So I don't want to talk too much in detail about exactly how it changes, but there are changes there, and I think you bring up some really interesting perspectives that may come into play.
Great. Okay.
Great.
I think that's
wrap up? That's it. Okay. Well, that's all we have time for.
Right.
Thank you very much for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having me on.
And once again, when does Halo 4 come out?
Halo 4 comes out on November 6th, and so make sure that you guys go and pick it up. I think is that the day of the big race, the Melbourne Cup?
Melbourne Cup? Isn't that on
Is that November 6th?
5th?
That'll be early November.
No, early November, yeah.
Yeah?
Okay,
All right.
I'll link it in. Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, you can watch Melbourne Cup or play Halo 4. I think I know which one.
You should play the game.
You should totally play the game. Awesome. Thank you so much,
All right.
Josh. Thank you.